Chen Zhenghao awoke to a throbbing, frostbitten wound in his calf, the crossbow bolt still lodged deep within frozen tissue. The emergency line remained dead, the snow-choked streets of Tianhai City offering no rescue. With a grim resolve, he retrieved a knife, an alcohol lamp, gauze and hemostatic drugs from a drawer, items he habitually kept for violent encounters, and performed a crude, blood-stained operation on himself. The cold numbed his pain, allowing him to extract the bolt and stitch the wound, though the leg emerged useless, its flesh turning a sickly blue-purple as frostbite set in. He collapsed onto his sofa, panting, his mind consumed by a single, burning promise: "Zhang Yi, you bastard, I'll kill you." Unable to call Zhang directly, Chen resorted to the residents' group chat, tagging his enemy with a venomous threat that read, "Zhang Yi, you bastard, you just wait. If I don't kill you, I'll write my name backwards." The message rippled through the chat, stirring a mixture of fear and perverse excitement. And Lin, still smarting from Zhang's earlier humiliation, shouted that it would be best if the two scoundrels fought each other, even urging Chen to finish Zhang off. Fang Yuqing, though outwardly composed, pursed her lips in quiet satisfaction, recalling Zhang's cold neglect of her pleas. The residents, uneasy and silent, watched the exchange unfold, aware that any comment could implicate them. Chen's fury translated into action. He summoned his loyal henchmen, ordering them to arm themselves with machetes, baseball bats, steel pipes, and any weapon they could find. He disclosed the location of Zhang's apartment 2401 in the same building and instructed them to break down the door, warning them not to be caught by Zhang's crossbow. The men, emboldened by the city's lockdown and the absence of police, set out with a reckless zeal, chanting about avenging their boss and tearing down the cunning little punk. Their arrival at Zhang's reinforced door was met with a chorus of curses and frantic pounding, yet the 20-centimeter thick alloy barrier, designed to withstand explosions, yielded only a few white scratches and chipped paint. Inside, Zhang Yi remained indifferent, his attention glued to a video game where he repeatedly failed a boss battle. The relentless hammering outside finally provoked a snide remark from him, questioning the attacker's appetite. He rose, connected a water pipe to the kitchen faucet, and climbed onto the firing port that overlooked the hallway. With a cold smile, he unleashed a torrent of water that surged down the narrow corridor, drenching the desperate intruders. The sudden deluge halted their assault, the water turning the metal floor into a slick, icy sheet that forced the henchmen to retreat, their morale shattered by the unexpected defense. The chapter closed on a tableau of simmering hostility. Chen Zhenghao, cradling his crippled leg, clutched his phone with a grip that threatened to snap the device, vowing again that Zhang would die. Zhang Yi, still perched above his domain, laughed at the futile attempts of his enemies, his voice echoing through the building's surveillance feeds. The residents, now aware of the escalating vendetta, whispered anxiously, while the snow continued to blanket the city, sealing both the wounded and the vengeful in a frozen stalemate that promised further bloodshed. Zhang Yi seized a large hose from his kitchen and unleashed a torrent of water onto the group of intruders gathered at his reinforced door. The water, still steaming from the 100-degree temperature gap, froze instantly on contact, turning the attackers into living ice statues. Their down jackets and sweaters hardened, lips turned purple, and several men collapsed from severe hypothermia, fleeing the doorway in panic before the flow stopped. Zhang had originally intended to use a crossbow, but the rapid, indiscriminate freezing effect of the water proved far more efficient against the desperate thugs. The soaked assailants scrambled back to Chen Zhenghao's residence, shivering and drenched, their clothes frozen solid. Chen, already limping on crutches from his self-performed frostbitten leg surgery, erupted in fury, demanding the whereabouts of his little brat and berating his henchmen for their failure. The thugs explained that Zhang's door was built of an aerospace-grade alloy, impervious to their brute force, and that the sudden water spray had rendered them helpless. Chen's anger turned to a cold calculation. He declared that even a complete idiot like Zhang would have loopholes, ordering his men to keep watch and strike the moment Zhang stepped outside. Unperturbed, Zhang retreated to his apartment, turned off the faucet, and resumed his leisurely routine. He inspected the French windows, watching a handful of residents, among them the veteran security guard Uncle Yu, struggling to shovel 2-meter-deep snow. No sign of Aunt Lin or the neighborhood committee appeared. Zhang noted the futility of their effort. The snow would refreeze within hours, professional snowplows were unavailable in the south, and the sub-zero temperatures would quickly claim anyone exposed for more than a few minutes. He dismissed their plight as a personal choice, content to remain within the warmth of his fortified haven. Inside, Zhang indulged in a lavish meal drawn from his alternate dimension storage: Australian lobster, a Wellington steak, 2 Huangshan sesame seed cakes, and a bottle of cola. With the climate control set to a comfortable 27 degrees Celsius, he lounged in thermal underwear, drifting between sleep and wakefulness without regard for day or night. The television offered only sparse propaganda, broadcasting official messages about the nation's final assault on the snow disaster while noting the United States' catastrophic failures. Zhang scoffed at the broadcasts, recognizing the sheer scale of the frozen apocalypse and the impotence of human effort against such a relentless natural force. As the snow continued to cascade outside, the temporary clearings made by the shovelers were quickly erased, leaving the streets buried once more. Zhang remained seated on his sofa, the room a sanctuary of heat and comfort, while the world beyond his walls succumbed to an unending ice age. He resolved to stay put, trusting his impregnable apartment and abundant supplies, and awaited whatever next move his relentless adversary might devise. Aunt Lin kept the residents' group chat alive with endless optimism, insisting that the nation's strength would soon end the relentless snow disaster and urging anyone in need to share supplies. Her cheerful pleas fell on deaf ears as the whiteout persisted for another 2 days, deepening the city's anxiety. Meanwhile, Fang Yuqing broke the silence with a private message to Zhang Yi, first checking his well-being and then demanding food, convinced that his stockpiles could spare a few instant noodles for her and Lin Canning. Zhang Yi answered tersely, claiming he had nothing left at home and that his meals consisted solely of the fare he was currently eating. He sent a photo of an Australian lobster and a perfectly seared steak, a stark contrast to the canned noodles the two women had been subsisting on. The image ignited fury and envy. Fang Yuqing accused him of deliberate provocation, while Lin Canning, half covered by blankets, stared longingly at the luxurious spread, her eyes flashing with jealousy. The two women launched into a tirade, denouncing Zhang Yi as a selfish pretender who flaunted wealth while they starved. Lin Canning mocked his past declarations of affection, labeling him a fake, and urged Fang Yuqing to demand a dinner at his place, insisting he should provide the food. Reluctantly, Fang Yuqing typed a message proposing they meet for dinner that night, hoping to force Zhang Yi into generosity, yet she immediately regretted the invitation when his reply suggested she would be the one treating him. Zhang Yi's response was a cold smile and a thank you, interpreting her message as an offer to pay for the meal. The miscommunication enraged Fang Yuqing, who threw her phone aside and declared she would no longer speak to him, relegating him to the bottom of her list. Lin Canning, seizing the moment, sent a scathing private note to Zhang Yi, calling him stupid and highlighting Yuqing's unhappiness. Zhang Yi read the taunt with a chuckle, recognizing the green tea and White Lotus act the duo performed, and mused that their petty drama was a curious distraction amid the apocalypse. As the snow continued to blanket Tianhai, Zhang Yi settled back into his fortified apartment, unbothered by the petty quarrels outside. He kept his water hose freezing system ready, maintained his daily firearms drills, and dined on the untouched alternate dimension meals, lobster, steak, and other delicacies, while a muted propaganda broadcast flickered on the television. The external world grew colder and more chaotic, but within his walls the routine of survival and indifference persisted unchanged.